What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at Gettle Kia in Bradenton, Florida, checking out this brand new 2025 Kia Carnival. It has been redesigned totally for 2025 model year. I've already done the SX, which is towards the top of the lineup. Now let's take a look and see what we get on this fairly base model. This is the LXS trim, and today I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out outside, inside, engine, technology, and the test drive. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get back to this. And here it is, completely refreshed for 2025 model year. The first thing that stands out, of course, are the headlights. They're brand new. Look at the size of this daytime running lamp / turn signals. They're all LED, glowing in this light amber color. Now we have 3 separate lenses as far as the LED headlamps right here, and a different grille than we've seen on the SX Prestige. Let me know which one you like better. This one has a little bit of chrome in it. Kia logo on top of this flat hood. Now we have 2 grooves on it. Now the hood is kind of short, but it's flat. It's not sloping like you see on some of the other minivans. And down here at the bottom, it's finished with this polished aluminum trim. And we have some flat black finishes at the bottom, bunch of parking sensors, lots of safety technology inside of this vehicle. But let's see what powers it up. And for 2025, we have 2 engine choices. First one is what we've seen before, 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6, 287 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, front-wheel drive configuration. Now, the second engine option, which is not out yet, but it's coming soon, is the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid motor. And I'm really excited to see that one once it comes out. But for now, we have this. So what else we have? We have the hood struts on both sides. We have some sound insulation. And since I drove it already, I can tell you that it is nice and quiet, right? And here on the side doesn't look much different from the outgoing model for 2024. And let's see what we have. We have this nice flat hood. It sits higher than most of the minivans. It has more of a SUV-like characteristics. That's why Kia doesn't even refer to it as a minivan. They call it an MPV, a multi-purpose vehicle. It's a decent size, 203 inches in total length of this vehicle. Sitting room for 8 passengers on this particular one with some pretty cool features, so stick around, I'll show you that. Now on the LXS trim, we have 17-inch rims, so kind of small rims, but we have a big sidewall on this tire, so we have the 235 by 65 on 17-inch rim. Everything around this vehicle is basically color coordinated with the exception of the pillars that are painted in the piano black, as well as the bottom portions of the mirrors, and there's a little bit of a matte black cladding at the bottom. We have the blind spot assist turn signal and the keyless entry smart entry system on this vehicle on all 4 doors. So we have a little button right here. As long as the key is somewhere on, you can lock it or unlock it. We have some chrome on top of the door handles. No roof rack, no roof rails, anything like this. And we have so typical to the Carnival trim that's been with this vehicle since the inception. Now, even on this LXS trim, you have the power sliding doors, which is a really nice feature and important for families. Well, that's what's going on the side. Let's see in the back. And here it is in the back. Again, more of an SUV-like characteristics, pretty straight down as far as the shape of it. Now we have the big gate spoiler, shark fin antenna on top. Here's your third brake light, and the wiper is nicely tucked in underneath that gate spoiler. Now this trim piece starts off with this big polished aluminum trim that you have on the side and kind of goes around this vehicle. And we also have the brand new taillight design. Now, they're not LEDs as far as I can tell. I mean, they're nice, bright, and visible, and they glow nicely in the dark. They actually light up to this moment right here. Then we have the big Kia logo Carnival on one side, nothing too special. At the bottom of the bumper, we have some reflector lights and reverse lights, parking sensors, of course, no visible exhaust. The power, there's no power gate, but it's fairly easy to open this up. You let it go and voila, it opens up nice and tall. I'm almost 6 feet tall, fit nicely underneath here. see what we have as far as room. And if you saw my SX review, I call it the in-law suite. That's a perfect place to put your mother-in-law for a long-term travel, or maybe just use it for what it was intended to be, which is basically more luggage. So a huge tub behind the third row seat, allowing you to put tons of stuff in here, or you can fold down the seat right inside of here. So let's do this. There's a lever right here. So number one, we pull on this lever, okay, and we let it go, and we fold this seat down. You do it with both seats, and this is how much room you're going to end up with. Tons of room. If you need to carry something longer, maybe moving, you can remove each of those seats, all of them, or one or two, however you want it. You can also configure them different ways. I'm going to show you that next. But first, let's take a look and see what else we have. So we have a power outlet, 12-volt power outlet in the third row seat, or actually in the back. We have a little bit of more storage spaces, little shelves in here for the third row passengers. As you can see, you have cup holders, USB Type-C outlets up on top. They have their own ventilation. And let's get in the middle row seat. I'll show you some cool features about that. Well, let's get inside. Before we do that, I want to show you this brand new remote. So it's something that we've seen on the Kia Tellurides before, the new shape of the remote. Now on one side, you have the lock, unlock, panic button. On the other side, you have hold for the remote started. Yes, that's standard equipment. You also have two buttons to open the sliding doors, or they can just come up to it and pull on it. The door will slide open by itself. Now, this is an 8-seating configuration, so we have 3 people can sit in the back. And in order to access the back seat, pull this seat out of the way, and let's get inside. As you can see, you can raise up those headrests. Nice. The air conditioning is blowing nice and cool. Let's see if I can fit inside. The most important thing is the knee room, of course. And check this out, guys. Now, these seats are not all the way back, but they're far enough for the middle row passengers to fit in. I'm almost 6 feet tall. And here in the second row seat, we have 3 individual seats. They can all be adjusted individually, can be taken out, which I'm going to do in just a little bit, just to kind of show you how it's done and how heavy the seats are. But I also want to point out how easy it is to configure those seats, because not only you can individually adjust them, so see they all have their own set of tracks that can be adjusted back and forth. A nice part about this is if you have a baby that's in the rear facing seat, and let's say you're sitting right here, okay, you can move this middle seat all the way up front, and you're going to have much easier access to the baby, giving you this much extra room so you don't have to stretch or do something uncomfortable. Or you can, of course, do this, fold it down, have a tray with the 2 cup holders in the back. This middle seat is actually easy to be removed. I'm going to show you this really quick. All you have to do is underneath the seat, see there's a little lever right here. You pull on it, that releases the seat, and simply take this out and make sure you latch it back in. Now, the same thing goes for the back seats. Okay, there's a little lever underneath here. I can't show it to you, but that basically releases the bottom of the seat, and you can take those out. Now, the seats are not very light. I mean, they can't be, because you need to have some sturdiness with those seats. So probably about 40 pounds, maybe a little bit more. So, if you're not strong enough, make sure you get some help to get those done for you. Now, in the back of the seats, we have some seat back storage. We also have the USB Type-C on the passenger and driver side, 2 cup holders, 12-volt power outlet, and a bit more storage down under here. Perfectly flat floor, allowing all 3 passengers in the back sit comfortably. And then in the back, you also have your own climate control. Yes, because we do have the tri-zone climate control separate for the back and the dual zone in the front. And if you're wondering if one would have enough space in the back, grab handle help you get inside. I'm 6 feet tall, almost have plenty of headroom, about this much. I'm not touching, not even close, before I would hit the driver's seat. So this seat is all the way back now. I can actually move it forward quite a bit, allowing the third row passenger to have more space if I wanted to. And I can also close the door automatically by pushing on the button here. Guess what happens? Hey, my foot is sticking out. Oh, wait, it retracts. Yeah, it's a safety feature. So if your kids are trying to get in and out, kind of like an elevator, it touches you and then it retracts. Well, that's what we have in the back. Let's check out the front area. As always, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Okay, nice and solid, no complaints here. Let's take a look. Front door panel. Again, it has this olive color. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but it has some gray trim over here. Window mirror lock controls. This is soft. This is soft. Even this is soft. So good job, Kia, on putting some nicer materials inside of this vehicle. More storage at the bottom. And then you have the driver power seat adjustments with four-way lumbar support. Now, on the passenger side, you're not so lucky. You get the manual adjustments. You also have a tilt and telescopic steering wheel manual adjustments here as well. Lots of new technology inside. Let's take a look. And here on the interior of this 2025 Kia Carnival LXS, you find a very similar setup as you've seen pretty much all of the modern Kias. You have this big bezel right here that houses two screens, a little bit different than on the SX. We'll get back to it. As far as the design, I have this double tier dashboard. What I like are those triangle windows giving you that extra visibility. Very powerful vents. The air conditioning is blowing right now, cooling the vehicle really, really quickly. Now, as far as the steering wheel, all right, thicker in the right places. It's leather wrapped. It's got some stitching on the inside. Big Kia logo. We have the mode and star. Both of these can be customized. And we have the volume, the voice control, phone pickup button. Then we, of course, have the menu pages and then the cruise control, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. Let's see what's going on as far as the instrument cluster. That's where the difference is between this and the SX model. On the SX, we have the full-blown digital screen with the blind spot assist. We don't have the digital blind spot assist. As a matter of fact, the only customization that you have is this little piece right here. This is the 4.2-inch screen. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Hit that menu pages and we can switch it to compass. We can switch it to lane keep assist, tire pressure, and back to trip. Then we can, of course, go through multiple trips or menus within the menus in here, but or only this one or a couple of them. But that's pretty much it. Very self-explanatory. We have the speedometer on the left-hand side, tachometer on the right-hand side, gas gauge at the bottom of the left, and fuel gauge or the temperature gauge at the bottom of the right. We also have the temperature and the odometer in the back. The brake is engaged right now. And let's move to the infotainment system. The infotainment system is a 12.3-inch screen. We go back to the home button and you see right here, navigation, built-in, standard equipment on this LXS trim. This is really nice. If you don't want to use your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you can use this built-in navigation. That's actually pretty good. As far as the radio sources, we have the AM, FM, and Sirius XM, phone projection. Now, it has the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We're not going to do that right now, but you can do that with either cable or wireless. Now, I've just done an 82,000 out Genesis that only had one that was cable only. So I'm not sure. Voice memo, weather, valet mode, vehicle diagnostic setup. Let's go through setup really quick. So this is where you can change several different features on the vehicle. We're not going to go through all of them, but one of the important ones is buttons. And you have several buttons throughout the vehicle. So you have the mode button, you have this little star button, then you have this little star button over here, and the up and down buttons on the steering wheel. And you can assign a function to it. So let's say this is a custom button and navigation. And I want this to be the display on or off. Okay, and it's set. So when I press this button, it's going to turn off or on the display. Simple as that. As long as the feature is somewhere on it, you can assign it. Right, and I'm going to put it to none so people don't get confused to it. They can assign it themselves. But this is how you do it. The second thing is your cluster. Okay, there's not much customizations in here, but we can link it to the drive modes. And yes, we do have the drive modes, even with this minivan, right? Well, though MPV. So the sport, smart, eco, and normal, those are the drive modes. And the only thing you see changing is basically the background of the instrument cluster. So let's go back. You can turn on or off welcome sound, buttons, cluster, data network, general voice recognition. Okay, back to the home screen. And this is pretty much it. You have the link to the online manual if you want to. Scrolling down here, you have the hazard lights, and down at the bottom here, you have a set of buttons. These are your shortcut buttons. Pretty cool system, actually. Right now it's volume, power. We have some shortcuts for the climate control, and we have the shortcuts for the infotainment system. So you have the home, map, search, seek, track, media, and setup. If you push the button at the bottom, voila, it changes to control the climate control on this vehicle. And you have your dual zone climate control. You can adjust the settings as far as the temperature. Hit this, and it's going to adjust the temperature in the back as well. We can lock it, we can unlock it, we can go to the front. So very nice and customizable system. Down here at the bottom, you have the USB Type-C, one for charging and data. You push this, opens up a 12-volt power outlet, no wireless charger, regular shifter. You can put it in the manual mode, yes, because we have that 8-speed automatic transmission. Cup holders, auto hold for your brakes, different drive modes. That's where I was setting it. Here's your parking brake. And down here, you see they have heated seats. So this is the standard equipment on the LXS trim. And also turn on the parking camera. Let's see how it looks. It actually looks pretty good. I mean, you have the active trajectory lines, and you have 1, 2, and 3 different options that you can choose from. And then you can, of course, adjust the settings for display and the content settings. So go back here, and this is pretty much it. You have this big armrest. Put some stuff in here. See, this is pretty deep, actually. We have no sunroof on this particular one. Nothing crazy going on with the mirror either. And then we have the regular incandescent lights. We have the LEDs on the SX and Kia Connect, and you can call for emergency. This is how you open your power sliding doors. So you have 2, 1 on each side. And of course, right here, you have the mirrors. You can turn on the illuminations yourself if you so desire. And this is the interior of this 2025 Carnival LXS. Let's talk about pricing and take it for a spin. And as far as the models, we have the LX, which is the base model, 36.5 LXS, the one that I'm sitting in right now, 38.5. It actually has some really nice features. So it has the Syntax seating trim, heated front seats, leather wrapped steering wheel, 8-passenger seating with what they call the second row flex seating. Now the EX at 40,700, SX, which I've done already, 45.6, and the SX Prestige at 50,600. So there's something for everyone. You know, 36.5 is not a bad starting point for a minivan these days. It's a naturally aspirated V6. All of them are going to share the same engine. There's going to be difference, and of course the wheels and tires, so that might feel slightly different, but overall pretty similar. Let's see if it has any of that body roll. It really doesn't have much. Okay, so what I'm talking about, if you make a turn, does this vehicle lean excessively towards right or left? And it doesn't. I mean, it has some of that lean because it's still a large vehicle. And we're going to see that off the line acceleration. By the way, guys, I'm all the way in the back of the parking lot, so there's nobody here, but let's see. All right, naturally aspirated, so we don't have that wait for the kickoff power. I mean, it comes gradually. It's actually pretty nice. Nobody buys the minivan to race, I hope. And then we're going to check out that turning diameter here. Turn it all the way to the back, and let's see. And that's really good. I think it's about 40 feet as far as the turning diameter. Really nice. Okay, very tight as far as driving it. Am I in the sport mode? No, I'm not even in sport mode. I'm in the eco mode. Well, let's put it in sport mode. We're going to see if the driving dynamics are going to change, and feel that the steering wheel has gotten a little bit heavier for the sport mode. Other than that, and seeing the differences. Maybe the gearing and the transmission is mapped slightly different than on the normal and comfort and eco mode, but we're going to check that out. And you're getting on the road. No issues in merging in traffic. So a lot of times when I'm testing out those vehicles, you know, some people go like, well, it's not important whether it goes really fast, whether it's got the huge acceleration. Well, it doesn't if you're looking in terms of racing or anything like this. However, if you are merging in traffic and if you're merging on the busy street, especially, it is very important for the vehicle to have an adequate acceleration so you don't get rear-ended or cause an accident for people that are driving on the main road. Also, if you need to pick up and pass someone like this, okay, you want to make sure that this vehicle does what you ask it to do, which is accelerate. And this one has a very nice acceleration. I mean, 287 horsepower. It's enough for a minivan. I think it's just right. Yeah, the hybrid's going to be exciting. I mean, it's got about the same amount of torque. I'm not sure what the horsepower on that's going to be, but that actually a pretty nice engine. We've seen that in the Sorento hybrid and in the Santa Fe hybrid, and it's able to actually pull those vehicles quite nicely. And while it is not important like the 0 to 60, well, let's stop and do like 0 to 40 anyways. Got a little bit of a wheel spin in the front. Yeah, 40. Okay, 50. That's it. I think it is really good. I think this vehicle can be taken on a long road trip with comfortable sitting for, definitely 7 passengers. The 8 passengers would have to be really small. So if you have 3 kids in the back, you're fine. Or if you have, any combination, because you can fold out part of the seat, leave some of it open. That's the beauty of having a minivan. And, someone commented on the last video, so I want to clarify, I have nothing against minivans, because somebody goes like, hey, my friend, minivans are not a dying breed. Well, it's only as good or bad as the popularity of sales. And I get it. There's only 4 of them left. So there is this, the Carnival, which they don't even call it minivan. There's the Honda Odyssey, Chrysler Pacifica, and Toyota Sienna. And in total, I think the total sales of minivans were about 250,000 or something like this last year. While, the vehicles, I think the top selling SUV, it was a Ford Explorer, like 180,000, just one. We're not even talking about the Kia Carnival, which is very popular mid-size SUV, Hyundai Palisade, Honda Pilot, Toyota Grand Highlander, any of those vehicles that take away from the market share for minivans, just the nature of the beast. I mean, people switched off to an SUVs. However, having a minivan, it has some advantages. First of all, you've seen the sliding doors. Easy, super easy to get in for kids, for people with some mobility issues, maybe, older people that have a harder time getting in or stepping over this, higher threshold. Now, this one only has just over 6 inches of ground clearance, so it's definitely sitting lower to the ground. It has a long wheelbase, about 122 inches, close to it. So it gives you a very nice and smooth ride. And it drives just like a car. With the SUV sitting up higher, the center of gravity being pushed up a little bit, so it's not as comfortable as the minivan to drive. Now, to each their own, and I'm not going to tell you to buy one or the other. However, if you have a family and if you want to consider a minivan, definitely take a look at the Carnival. I think it's a great minivan, and even the LXS. I think it has enough equipment to make it an attractive buying proposition. But of course, if you want to have a more loaded version, then go check out the video of the SX. It's got tons more features. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things. And if you did, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.